Good morning, everyone. It is mid-September, and so it is definitely time to finish up planting our radishes. Good old Thomas Hill says to plant your radishes August to mid-September, so this is mid-September. We are ready to go. He also mentions about spring sowing radishes, so that's fun. But he says that the fall sown winter radishes are far superior. He has some gardening advice here that I'm going to follow planting out this bed here. He says, a like experience in causing the root to become marvelously big doth Pliny skillfully utter and teach after this manner, by taking a great dibble, ta-da, my dibble, with which making a hole in the earth well 6 fingers deep, fill it with fresh chaff, and bestow a seed of the radish with dung and light earth over the mouth, covering the same in like manner even with the earth. These performed, the root will grow and increase unto the bigness of the hole. So that's pretty cool. We make a hole in the earth, fill it up with some floofy stuff, the chaff, and then hopefully the radish root will be planted up here and it'll grow and follow kind of this shape of that, and we'll get some of those beautiful elongated roots. I'm planting a few different types here. I'm planting a black round winter radish. I'm wondering if the radishes that would tend to naturally grow round, planted in this manner, will actually follow the hole and turn into a taper. I have some here that are black radish, but it's more cylinder and carrot shape, so it naturally will take the form of this shape. We also have a daikon radish, which are naturally long, so I'm just kind of curious to see how that grows. And then a German beer radish, which is white and long-ish to start with, so hopefully we can get it a little bit longer with this planting technique. And the Blauer winter radish, which is kind of this German purpley, bluish storage root so they say. So we'll give that a whirl. One thing I have found with dibbling is, this was the bed that my gourds had grown in, and so I used my mattock and I did a really nice job kind of tilting up the earth and chopping up the clods and getting it prepared. And then as I was dibbling in the soil that I normally would have, when I put the dibble in, the dirt just kind of falls back into the hole. And so what I have found that you need to do when you're dibbling is you need your seed soil bed a little bit firmer than what you normally, or what I normally do for planting root vegetables, to keep that soil from falling back in the hole. So, I'm going to dibble here. I'm going to keep my radishes probably around 4 to 6 inches apart, just to make sure they have a nice, I didn't do too good of a job breaking up my clods, but 4 to 6 inches apart, just to make sure that they have plenty of room to grow, that their shape isn't being impeded by competition or being too closely planted next to each other. So 6 fingers deep. My fingers are very tiny, so I'm going to pretend I have larger fingers, and so that's going to be about this deep, so about 6 inches or so. Going to dibble in and carefully withdraw it so that the soil doesn't fall back. I don't have any official chaff, but what I do have is lots of chicken bedding, some really fine shavings, and so I'm going to pretend that that is good enough. I think it will be, right? It's a high carbon, low nitrogen, so hopefully it won't be like overly nutritious and distort the root growth that way. Just going to shove it in here. I'm going to pack it in just because I'm a little bit concerned about the soil moisture possibilities. So that goes in there. And then I'm going to take one of my round radish seeds. I'm going to do 2 rows of each. And I'm just going to, for continuity's sake, I'm going to put in 2 seeds about 1 inch deep. And then, oh wait, I forgot, I should have done chicken poo. I think I'll try it, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Anyway, so there's some chicken poo, and then some dirt. And, I don't know, we'll see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and do another one here, a little bit further apart, trying to keep it in line. Dibble, fill my hole up here. Chaff. And then I'm going to go ahead and plant these deep. So that's another thing, right, is this whole deep do you plant the radish seeds? And commonly it's, you know, half-inch deep is the modern way of thinking it, but there is some studies done that if you plant them deeper, that, just looking for some good fresh chicken poo. I'm going to put that in and use that kind of as a seed starting medium on top of all of this floofy nitrogen material. I'm sorry, carbon material. 2 seeds there, 1, 2. Just in case, and I'll go and I'll thin these out to make sure there's 1 seed per, but I'm taking all this time to make a nice hole. I want to just make sure that there's something in that hole that germinates. And then cover up with soil, and so yeah, so modern thinking is plant your radish seeds a half-inch deep. I'm going to plant them a little bit deeper because there's also some studies out that say the deeper you plant them, the bigger that they grow and the less chance that they have of poking out of the soil, which I think is going to be important for these kind of longer radishes. Not so much a big deal when you're talking about the round radishes that we're, especially the small round radishes that we're also familiar with. So I'm going to continue on with that. I'm also going to label carefully, always label, and then see what happens. So these are, hopefully these are about, all of these are around 60 to 80 days, so I have about a month here for them to grow up to size, maybe a month and a half, and then they'll just hold in the soil over winter. So yeah, there's radishes. I'm just going to continue on with this and see what happens.